Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriake. This is the Comrade Show. Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes. Nigerians across the world, top of the moment to you all. This is the Comrade Show, and my name is Comrade Lante Ikmamusa Oriahi. Please, if you are joining this broadcast, I will enjoin you to help share this broadcast. This is a national broadcast. It's a broadcast that is intended to reach all Nigerians, and I will appreciate if you're able to help us share this broadcast because. For Nigeria, it's a defining moment, and some of us have come to the conclusion that we cannot stand outside of the ring for too long. We must begin to talk about these issues as they are, and particularly now that there is time for us to be able to make some input, because whether we like it or not, the Nigerian narrative right now is a bizarre one. Is anti the people, is highly retrogressive. It's keeping, the Nigerian state under, and of course, the untold hardship faced in Nigeria today uh, is one that is evident to everybody. And as a matter of fact, for many of us, Nigeria is in a state of emergency. And the earlier all of us begin to put our heads together to see how we can parachute this country out of this present state of political, economic, and security quagmire, we may just find out that, this ship of the state, if we are not careful, the right decisions are not taken, okay, is being directly steered, towards doom. And that doom will not just be some people's doom, it will be everybody's doom. So long as we are Nigerians, it therefore means that whatever we can do to save the Nigerian ship today, we must do. Please share this broadcast, it's very important. We discuss these issues. And the topic is very clear. Peter Obi's connection to Nigeria's train bombing and the Super Eagles failure. Share the broadcast. I want to take the next few seconds to try to equally share, the broadcast to some groups that I belong to. It's important, and I'm going to let you know how connected Peter Obi is to the train bombing in Nigeria that took place in Nigeria very recently, where people died, and of course the failure of the Nigerian Super Eagles to qualify, for the World Cup. All of this brings sadness to the entire Nigerian landscape, and it is not funny, and that is why we must talk about these issues, and we must start our resolve this very minute. Yes, it's the Comrade Show, and like I said, my name is Comrade Lamtic Bonsa Oriahi. Please share the broadcast. Let's get it around. Let's get it to Nigerian people everywhere. Irrespective of where, where the divide, irrespective of where we are from. We want this broadcast to get to the northern part of Nigeria. We want to get to every stakeholder as far as the Nigerian state is concerned, to the south, to the east, to the west, because it's intended for all of us. Because for us, this is a defining moment, and what we do now, our decision right now is going to matter what the future of Nigeria is going to be like. I want to start quickly by commiserating with Nigerians. It's a sad day for the country. It's a sad day because today the Super Eagles of Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup. It's a sad day, because several families are beginning to find out that they did lose loved ones in the train bombing that took place in Nigeria, yesterday. It's a sad day because the economy of Nigerian state instills no hope. It's a sad day, because insecurity in Nigeria today, is one that reaches everybody. Whether you are from South, you are from West, you are from East, you are from North, it doesn't really matter. It's a sad day, and it's been a sad day because the indices, the economic indices of the country, needs to be rescued. Because if it is not, it will transform from just being a sad day, to an everlasting sadness for Nigerian people. And that is what we must, do the bit that we can to ensure that we salvage. Super Eagles of Nigeria, they played against Ghana today, second leg qualifying, a match, to the World Cup. We needed to win, okay, and all of that. We played, and we had a draw, a score draw, which by the rules of FIFA, ensured the qualification of Ghana. And I've spoken to a few persons and all of that. I have been a bit depressed over what happened with the team, but I've risen out of that. I've risen out of that in consoling myself that hopefully the future will give us something better. Now I'm going to start from Super Eagles, and I'm going to draw a connection between Peter Obi to all of these things that I'm talking about right now. Now, the consolation I'm giving myself is this. I watched the match. I watched the review again. I looked at the performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. To be very honest, I mean, Nigeria, yeah, I love that this team would have qualified. But I'm consoled that they didn't qualify because the team was not good enough. If this is what Nigeria can produce, it's better we don't qualify than to go to the World Cup and embarrass ourselves. And it's better too that we grieve now, okay, and know that there is something to be done to ensure that we can have a better team in the future. Now, is it really about the Super Eagles? I'm starting from the Super Eagles because Super Eagles, Nigerian Super Eagles of today is a reflection of what the Nigerian society, is. And I'm going to borrow a verse from from the Christian Bible. The Bible says that we say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And somehow over the years, Christians, they've tried to make us believe that what the Bible was talking about is people who are religious and all of that. But personally, I found out that when the Bible said that when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, the Bible was not Jesus Christ was not making reference to religious people. He was making reference to good people. As a matter of fact, in one of those passages in the Bible, he said, if you did not do this to the least of your brethren, you have not done it to me. That means if you're able to do unto your brethren what you want done to you, you are a righteous person. Now that brings me to the issue of politics. The Nigerian politics today, the structure of the Nigerian politics today, and those people making up the entire Nigerian political framework today, are predominantly unrighteous. Because these people are laden with corruption. They are not reneging. They are sinking the ship of the state with corruption. And therefore, the reflection of what you get, what we are getting from the entire political, what's it called, environment, from the entire, what's it called, political dividends that we are getting, is rubbing off on everything. Now, when I looked at the crop of the players who played in Nigerian match just now, I told myself I couldn't actually bring out one person apart from someone like maybe Osimhen, who is supposed to be a national team player today, in the entire squad. Because the squad we're able to put together is a direct reflection of what our country is. And why is it like this? As we speak right now, there are so many Nigerians begging to be enslaved in the streets of Europe. Many of them right now are in the Sahara Desert. And most of these people are bundle of talent that ought to have been excelling if the structures were in place for such excellence to take place. People who are talented are no longer looking at, their talent sustaining them in Nigeria. Rather, everybody is looking at how to get out of the country and all of that. So at the end of the day, we are now left with mediocres to represent us at global stage. And at the end of the day, when it's only mediocres that we have, it therefore means that we cannot even excel at any level. Look at it. Under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari and all of that. We talk about insecurity a lot. We talk about the economy of Nigeria state a lot. We talk about all of this. But the truth of the matter is that you cannot actually separate one from the other because they are all interconnected. I remember a long time ago when I was growing up, in Nigeria, when I was growing up right in Edo State, talking of football itself, I can remember the number of football competitions available to us, at under 13, under 16, under 14, under 10, different competitions. You go to secondary school, we have Principal's Cup, we have what's it called, Crystal Cup. We have different kind of competitions that sieve out talent. At the time I'm talking about right now, traveling abroad was not a major focal point. Even at that time, it's not like the economy was stupendous. You understand? It's not like it was perfect. But then, compared to now, there's a lot of difference. That culture died. And some of those that we had at that time to sustain some of the talents we had at the time and all of that, it was because the environment was conducive enough for those things to take place. But now, that culture is dead. And so what we have is that the people who ought to become champions of our football, hegemony today, many of them are washing dishes abroad. Many of them have taken to different other things, and they have left their areas of talent because the entire Nigerian political structure has killed what is supposed to be, those instruments of talent. And therefore, whether this year, next year, 4 years' time, 8 years' time, if the status quo remain, if the narrative remain, okay, Nigeria will not qualify for the World Cup. If they do manage to qualify, they will not do well. So therefore, we cannot now start crying, okay, looking at the level we are. We need to start rebuilding the nation. And that is why many of us are very opposed to certain human beings that have flooded the political space right now, wanting to take over from the present inept administration we have, from the present ghost administration we have. Because if we need to salvage, look at this, football is one thing that brings a lot of joy to Nigerian people across board. Even when we are divided along different lines for different reasons, when it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria playing football, or a national team of Nigeria playing any game as it is, we are united as Nigerians. It is the last drop of happiness string that kind of string us together. And that last drop, we are seeing the impact of political failure in this particular last blood, because the people we have at the end of our affairs, they are unrighteous people. And the Bible did say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Because when the righteous are in authority, good people, they don't think about themselves. They think about what they will do to make life better for everybody. Now, you tell me, you that is watching me right now, what this administration has done to make life better for everybody. Now, we move on quickly. I had a chat with somebody, I think it was yesterday, shortly after the news broke that we had, there was terrorists had attacked, was it the rail, the train and all of that, and a lot of people are feared there and stuff like that. And the person said to me, man, can't we just wake up to some good news in this country? Now, you cannot give what you don't have. What we have today in this country is a product of what we have sown. What all of us collectively. I'm not talking about President Muhammadu Buhari. People in 2015, Nigerians came out to say, man, we are letting Muhammadu Buhari. Nigerians came out to rig for Muhammadu Buhari. Nigerians came out to disrupt areas for President Muhammadu Buhari and all of that. And so therefore, collectively, overtly or covertly, we are all involved in the mess that we are in today. And therefore, the product of this mess is what we are enjoying right now. And it's rubbing off on the Super Eagles. When I was having a chat with somebody after the failure of Super Eagles qualified today, the person was talking about Eguavoen. I said, man, look, leave Eguavoen out of this matter. Because there is no way we can give what we don't have. Ecuador has even gone ahead to pick some mediocre players just because you hear that, oh, they play abroad. They've never played for Nigeria before. We struggle, we bring them in. What club are they playing in? What club? Look at. Where do you hear of them at all anywhere? You hear somebody playing for one Division 2 team in England, and that one playing for one, what's it called, a championship side in England. You understand what I'm saying now? These boys are playing to just survive, to make ends meet. They are not top class players. But we have the potentials of having top class, great players. But many of those guys who should have been top class and great players, they are washing dishes right now. Some of them have taken to courses, to try to upgrade themselves in some other fields that were, hitherto not their own. They have left the areas that they ought to excel and become the Ronaldos of this world. And therefore, we are left with a pool of mediocres. And when we even check the background of these mediocres as players and footballers and all of that, many of them struggled by themselves to get where they are, not because they didn't contribute to where they are. And so therefore, if we must enjoy a high-flying Super Eagles side, we therefore need to build the structure from the very beginning. And I can tell you that the structure from the very beginning will not be built by the people like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not be built by the likes of, what's his name, Atiku Abubakar, will not be built by many of these people that I call political charlatans who are flooding everywhere right now, wanting to do everything rig. And we are the people, the young people, who are going to help them rig, collect bribe, kill our friends and our brothers to ensure that we push them to become president and leaders of this country. Somebody I always talk to people. I was having a political chat with somebody that I was saying, oh no, it's time for PDP now. It's not about it is not about PDP, it's not about APC. Because in the tripartite discussion, and that person was saying, no, all these big political parties should rest. Let us get the smaller parties and all of that. So it's not about the political parties. Look at APC National Convention. They just elected their national officers. 95 to 98% of them were members of PDP that moved to APC. They were part of those people in PDP that decamped to APC. From their national chairman today to the list, more than 95% of them were former PDP members. They are now the ones leading the APC. So at the end of the day, it is never about the political party, but it's about the individuals that we are able to sieve out. I titled this broadcast, Peter Obi's connection to Nigeria's train bombing and Super Eagles failure. I've tried to talk about Super Eagles and the failure. I've tried to talk about some of the remote causes of our failure. And that we fail today, it does not mean that we are not going to fail if we try again and again and again. I think the failure of today should jumpstart a process to checkmate and look into those things that made us fail today, so that we gradually can build a sustainable future of sports. And it must start with how many righteous people are we able to empower? How many righteous people are we as Nigerian people able to drive that consensus, to give the authority to chart the way forward for this Nigeria? Now, for those of you who are collecting bread to canvass for Tinubu, you are doing a huge disservice to this country. Yes, it is your choice. Sitting here several months ago, I had been approached by certain human beings in the name of one structure, one arrangement like that for Tinubu and all of that. But I have reached to that level in my life where, my conscience can no longer be sold. It cannot be bought for money. Cannot. I have been bothered. I have been worried with Tinubu's declaration, articles, all of them. Where are those people that we can at least have some faith in? I look to a period, this 2023, where in both political parties, Nigerians can at least, talking of PDP and APC, I will mention them the most because somehow they are the two political parties that have the structure that have got a national spread to be able to produce a president. But we must push that narrative to the extent that for the two candidates that these parties will produce, they will be the ones that Nigerians will say, okay, anywhere you go, we are happy. This is the push for some of us. But personally, I've looked at the fray and I tell you that I am seriously standing to talk about one person that think that Nigerians should give a chance. I don't know this person from Adam. I've never talked to him. I've never met him anywhere. Okay. I am just a lover of Nigeria's restoration. Nigeria needs to be restored if we are to guarantee a better future, not just for politics, not just for economy, not just for the security, this thing, for everything, because somehow everything is interwoven. They are all interconnected. Yes, we wake up to the news that terrorists bombed, I think it was a train between Abuja and was it between Abuja and Lagos? I don't know if I my information, but there was train bombing and all of that. Now, today I saw some pictures of some military men flocking around, trying to assess the situation, and some heartbreaking stories too. I saw a picture of one young doctor, who sent a text message that she had been hit in the course of the bombing and every other thing, and the daughter eventually died and all of that. And so some money here and there, taking place around that this thing. Now this was a young person, young Nigerian, a professional who remained in the country, a doctor, okay, who remained in the country, probably still expressing and believing that something good will come out of this country. And she just like woke up, she's traveling for whatever purpose she's traveling, whether for pleasure or for work or for whatever it is, expectedly to travel in a safe environment. But on her way, she was not sick. She was not sick. She did not have it was a vehicle accident and all of that. But she was killed by daredevil terrorists and criminals in Nigeria. The example of this girl is a present example for everyone who is breathing today that is in that country. Everybody is just looking at his own death face to face because any scenario can change any minute for anybody in that country. And the only reason why this is happening is because of failure, a very a sad failure of the present administration led by Muhammadu Buhari. This government was elected primarily to guarantee the security of lives and property in Nigeria. But this government has failed most woefully. It is only in the time of civil war we have had this much death in Nigeria. Only in time of civil war. The failure of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is such that should make us think. Now, in all this we are talking about right now, I can tell you, I don't know, I start to be corrected as we speak. Nobody under the administration of Buhari has been convicted as a terrorist in Nigeria. None whatsoever. But do you know what you hear? In all of these, you see a collection of names. Terrorists confirmed. And the government is saying they are granting them amnesty. I don't know whether we understand the meaning of amnesty. Some of them are even being sponsored by the federal government of Nigeria today for one thing or the other. Some of them are now under the payroll of the Nigerian government. These are terrorists that have raided villages, that have killed people, killed fathers, made people motherless, made people widows and widowers and all of that, destroyed farmlands, created hardship in the country. The President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is granting them on a regular basis amnesty. And when they granted the amnesty, they put them on payroll. They said they have even sponsored some of them to go and do certain programs because they want to reabsorb them into the society. Where have you ever heard a thing like that? Where? And yet there is no national outcry, no outrage. We have a lame duck National Assembly. All of them are yes, political hallelujah boys to the Buhari administration. Nobody is able to speak out. In all, the Ogagbata of them all, a man they address fondly as the national leader, One who took this Buhari and took him around Nigeria as a candidate for change, a candidate that will restore the country of this nation, that will restore things in this nation. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has never issued a statement one day about the situation in this country to say this is bad, that is bad. Never. He is the man today who is seeking to replace this same man that we're talking about right now. We see him. Footages have emerged. We can see from a distance that he's even unwell. Every now and again, he's running to London for medical attention and stuff like that. And yet, our own medical infrastructure in Nigeria, they are grossly dilapidated. He himself, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has not held this government accountable to say, build our infrastructure. And yet, he's the man who wants to become president of Nigeria. Please share this broadcast too. Please, if you are there, do us some service. Share this broadcast. I did beg you now. Because all these people must hear. They need to hear. It's important. But if we fold our arms, okay, this narrative will continue. Now, many of you may not know, I don't have anything against Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as a person at all. But I love Nigeria more. And I tell you that if there's somebody who should become president of Nigeria, I may not know who's going to be the next president of Nigeria, but I do know those that will not do well as president. And I tell you that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who has urged this particular administration on all of the time, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has a lot of matters shrouded in mystery, confusion, in different things, is not the man. I do hear that they are prepared grounds, to wet the entire Nigerian state with money. I do hear that, to buy every Bible to make sure Asiwaju become the president of Nigeria. The truth of the matter is that it's not the first time we hear things like that. Not just at this level. We've heard before. Edo State is a testament to things like this and all of that. We did hear at the time that certain people were going to buy over everybody and all of that. But the Edo people resolved. In 2020 Edo State governorship election, Edo people resolved and said, no, this is the direction we want to face. So it is that same resolve some of us are out there right now talking about, and we must resort to say that these people should be resisted, because a man cannot learn new tricks at old age. There is no way these people will make any difference to what we already have. Earlier today, Lai Mohammed, I'm just trying to be very as constructive as possible. He came out today, and it's so shameful. And it's in the papers. He said that the APC government, cannot fix all the wrongs of the PDP government in 16 years. They are still passing blame after 8 years. They are still passing blame to PDP. When Nigerians knew the rot of PDP for 16 years, and Nigerians gave APC the chance to restructure the country, bring us to a part of responsibility in leadership, followership, and governance. And you are failed woefully. Some days ago, I did announce an egg is now selling for over 100 naira in Edo State. When this government was taking over, an egg was about 20 naira, 15 to 20 naira. It's now selling for over 100 naira. Bag of rice is now stretching beyond 30,000 naira. This government made the bag of rice for just between 7 to 8,000 naira. The entire economy of the Nigerian state is dilapidated. And Lai Mohammed is still having the effrontery to come out and start and pass blame game. He's not seeing the log and the mountain of failure in their own eyes. But he's looking beyond that to see the speck in the previous administrations. So that is the kind of narrative that is so painful to the heart, that when the Super Eagles of Nigeria will lose a World Cup that's supposed to provide a source of joy, that's supposed to support our Nigerian economy, that's supposed to promote us in many different ways, If Nigeria loses out in such competition, we will not wait for long, because at the end of the day, it is a string. It's a string. I'm not going to make this very long. I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. Now, why am I trying? So I'm trying to draw a connection, because the topic is Peter Obi's connection to Nigeria's train bombing and the Super Eagles failure. I tell you, the Nigerian train bombing, okay. In fact, I should not be a soothsayer to tell you that it is not the last. Things like this we will continue to hear, because the people we have that we have given authority to, they are not ready to protect Nigerians. They are not. All they do is just some cosmetic arrangement. A president of a nation came out in one of the broadcasts to say, man, that working 6 hours a day is very tedious for him. 6 hours, president. When you are elected to work around the clock. Joe Biden's an old man. I'm not sure he's working 6 hours a day. Our president is already saying that it's very stressful for him on the national broadcast to be working 6 hours a day. Now, why do I blame him? I don't blame him. He aspired. And the galaxy of us, all of us Nigerians, mediocres, people who don't see beyond their nose. Some of us fought. Some people carry weapons, destroyed others to make sure that they will bring. All of us, we are going to take the blame. Whether you vote for him or you don't vote, it doesn't matter. So this is what the best of us that we can give this nation to manage. And many of us are fighting now, the same way we fought for Buhari, to hand this nation over to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This country is dying, my people. It's a defining moment. It's a defining moment. History will judge us what we do now. The 10,000 naira you collect now, the 1 million naira you collect now, to pave way for Tinubu, history will judge you. Because a collection of all of these that many of you guys are doing right now will eventually boomerang and knock everybody in this country out. They don't care. When they are sick, when they are unwell, they are in the UK receiving treatment. They don't care. They don't care. On the other parts, on the flip side of it, Atiku is doing a lot right now to be the candidate of the PDP. Without any respect for anything like zoning. In fact, as far as I don't think that it should even matter right now. We just need a good person, someone that we can at least vouch for. This is the 6th time Atiku will be contesting presidency in this country. Is this the best that this nation can put forward? And this is the best. There are others. Some are even trying to cajole everybody to say, oh, Mona, just give him one time, make it just be one term of 4 years, and he will now hand over to the South. What are you people talking about? What are you people talking about? Some have started doling out money. It must be Atiku. All the delegates. Please share this broadcast because we want to reach all these people who are going to decide all these things. Because we know that when it comes to the final stage where the entire Nigerian people will not decide, we probably know how much energy we are going to put in at that time. But this stage, we want this broadcast like this to get to the delegates. Then we come with you to give money. They are ready to pay millions to each delegate just to secure their votes. The ballot is secret ballots to a large extent. I will not tell you delegates of PDP or APC not to collect money. But when you are voting, you have a conscience you need to vote for. The reason why Nigeria is like this today is because people who have been privileged to occupy positions, they are people who came in to serve themselves and not to serve the people. For once, we need to decide. For once, we need to check our conscience. Because at the end of the day, even if you collect 100 million naira, At the end of the day, and not so long from now, your eyes will be closed and you will die. And that money will be where it is. And that's when people inherit it, or some of them get lost. So the banks will just inherit them, and you will die and leave them. Look at the Babangidas. Look, are they all not already near their graves now? Look at Obasanjo. I saw him the other day. I saw Babangida the other day, and all of these were people who were boozing in just 10 years ago from here, 15 years ago from here. The life we live is transient. For once, let us live, because it is important to make our society better for all of us. Look at the justly here and there. Look at the people, the old Super Eagles players that they had become national heroes that Nigerians are celebrating. They were joined together, brought together by, what's his name, by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come and play a novelty match, a novelty exercise that was turned into a political campaign rally, and they also, many of them just started, because of what? People are now accusing them of card. I mean, how much did you accept if that's the case? I have felt the pulse of Nigerians across board. As all of these people, aspirants are coming out indicating interest, I have checked the pulse of Nigerians. This broadcast is Peter Obi's connection to Nigeria's train bombing and the Super Eagles failure. I said earlier, I do not know Peter Gregory Obi. I don't know him one-on-one. But there are few things I know about him. He was governor of one of the states in the Eastern region. He has talked about his governance. He has talked about leaving over 70 billion behind when he was leaving to his successor. All the things he talked about his own antecedents as a banker, as this, as that, as that, as that, as that. Nobody has come out ever to dispute the claims the man has been making. Nobody. The man appeared to me, the last election when he was running as a running mate to Atiku Abubakar, I listened to this man. And I told myself, Atiku Abubakar shouldn't even be the man on the top of the ticket. It should be this man. I saw a man who has a vision. I saw a man who is compliant with our contemporary time. I saw a man who will see Nigeria as a business model that must be explored to benefit Nigerians. And I saw a man who will provide leadership, an honest leadership that will curb our security challenges. And I saw a man whose leadership will prepare Nigeria to start from the very beginning. And when we do start from the very beginning, therefore means that the issue of Super Eagles in the future producing very dismal performances like this will almost become a thing of the past, because people will start doing it from the very grassroots. The future will become better because we are still giving birth to children who are superstars. Many of them, because of the narrative of today, they will never attain the height of glory that they were destined to attain talent-wise. Many of them will eventually become something else outside of what they ought to be gloriously. Footballers, basketballers, tennis players, and stuff like that. I have a very strong connection with Spain. Spain is my second country. And Spain is not such a very bright economic country as such. They've got their issues. But I tell you what, Spain is more than 10,000 times better than Nigeria. Sadly. And people in Spain, okay, when they are born into something, particularly when it's going to do with talent, there's so much encouragement that people actually live by the product of their talent. It is not happening by accident. It is happening because the political structure in place and the political dividends in place is such that provides and creates an environment for people who are talented to strive. Spain is number one in football in Europe. Spain is number one in tennis, in fact, in the world. Spain is number one in many things. Many of these people are excelling in Spain and making Spain, a very hot destination. Spain is number one in football in this world. The two best teams in this world, Real Madrid and Barcelona, they are from Spain, and many other teams. Spain is number one because they know how. Real Madrid right now, they are converting their stadium right now. It's going to be the as a matter of fact, it's going to be the most valuable stadium in the history of existence. Many of you may not know, and you may think that maybe it is just Real Madrid money that is doing that stadium. No, the state. It is the Comunidad, we call it Comunidad de Madrid, Community of Madrid, that stood as a guarantor for that stadium because they know that when that stadium is completed, the dividends that stadium is going to yield over the years, they will get their money back. The state is involved in the activities of sports. Children who are good footballers, okay, they are good sportsmen. Let me use that, good sportsmen. You understand what I'm saying now? They transform everybody's life in Spain. It is not happening in isolation. The entire political structure and framework understand this. And so there's massive investment into this. Back then when I was in Spain, my children were going to school. Two of my children were playing basketball. They were fished out from their own primary school. And when you get to this basketball club, their training ground, you will be amazed. There are talent hunters who go from school to school, hunting children for football, for basketball, for this, for that, for tennis, for everything. People are engaged. It is not because those people just want to do that. It's because the entire political framework in place provided for that. We must therefore get it right in Nigeria to ensure that we are able to jumpstart a process from the very base. Super Eagles fail to qualify today. Given the environment and the political structure we have right now, even if they had managed to qualify, they will not succeed because this team is full of mediocres. There are better talents wasting away that the structure and the system will never allow us to harness. Today we need a responsible person. Somebody we can at least vote for more reasonably to become the president of Nigeria. And it's not going to come from the blues. We are going to work very hard against the what's it called? Against the status quo, against all of these political structures you are seeing right now. Look at APC National Convention. Look at all the array of old retired brains they have elected as their national officers. Retired brains. People who are supposed to have, who are retired and be settling down their houses. They are the ones who hold this sway as far as the political structure of APC is concerned. And we equally have them along PDP and all of that. How can you have a nation? When this nation was vibrant, when this nation was coming up, we read about Tafawa Balewa, we read about all of these guys. Those guys in their era, none of them was even more than 40 years when they were in their mid-20s to their mid-30s. Those guys who governed Nigeria and gave Nigeria a framework to begin life as Nigeria. Today, some people who belong to that generation, they are still the ones right now deciding the fate of this country. And so therefore, if we must get it right, we cannot afford to stay idle. The business must start now. We cannot wait till the end of the primaries, because when you wait till the end of the primaries, tell you what is going to happen. The likelihood that will happen, APC will bring out Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Then PDP will go ahead and bring out Atiku Abubakar. Nigerians will not be faced with a choice of selecting the better out of two demons, out of two competent individuals. Two incompetent individuals. Nigerians will not be placed with a choice, a very hard choice of deciding who amongst two that are not competent that they are going to choose from. And the story will not change the status quo. And right now, more than ever in the history of this country, the status quo has to change. Look at us as a nation. Today, every day we are fighting. We are looking at our divisions, particularly along tribal lines. Oh, we cannot coexist with the Northerners. We cannot coexist with the Fulanis. We cannot coexist with the Westerners. We cannot do that. Many people are struggling to say, man, we need to divide, succeed, let everybody go their own way. Let us be honest with ourselves. There is so much strength in diversity if we are able to harness them, our diversity. One of the most formidable and the most beautiful diversities in this world is the Nigerian kind of diversity. Because what you have in the north is not what you have in the south. What you have in the west is not what you have in the east. What we have not been able to do is to harness the beauty of our diversity and make it glow as a nation. And reproduce the joy of citizenship. And reproduce the glory of patriotism. And glad and smile because we are the united people of Nigeria. If we got it right, I imagine how proud and how beautiful we would be. Look at us. Some of the best brains in this world are Nigerians of different nationalities in Nigeria, different nations in Nigeria. The most intelligent family, the Mafia family in the UK, they are from Edo State. The Igbos are ruling America in the academic strides. We have a few Yorubas who are dictating the pace for NASA. The glory of Nigerians beyond the shores of Nigeria is limitless. And yet, in Nigeria, we are just a shadow of ourselves. And the only reason is because of failure of leadership, failure of political office holders. This is a defining moment, my people. We cannot wait till after the primaries. We must be involved. Many of us will not be what's it called, delegates to determine those that will be the flag bearer for these parties. But we will not those to determine these people. And we have the power to speak to them. We have the power to let them know that the monies that these people are going to spread across, the people who don't want, that money should not determine what the decision should be. This is why I'm making this broadcast. A Peter Obi presidency will guarantee a level of security in this country to the extent that incessant bombings that we are getting right now, killing of Nigerians, invading villages and killing people will not be there. A Peter Obi's presidency will jumpstart a process of economic rejuvenation for Nigeria. A Peter Obi's presidency, if all of us cluster around it, whether you are a northern Muslim, or you are a northern Hausa, or you are from Ikwere in the rivers, or you are from east in the Igbos, in the Igbo, or you are from the west in Yoruba land, or you are from the south, a Peter Obi's presidency, I can almost tell, will guarantee unity for this country. We explore our diversity and empower us in our areas of strength for the glory of a Nigerian state that all of us can be proud of. The connection between Peter Obi and the Nigerian train bombing is that Peter Obi's presidency is sure to promote better security. A leader that will be in the forefront. A leader that will call for accountability. A leader that will not forget that he has given instruction, but that will follow up, and a leader whose own business prowess, whose own antecedent as a governor in his own time, and experience will come to bear. This is a leader, mind you, who has seen it all. He's part of the process. He knows what is happening right now. He knows what is wrong right now. He knows what Nigeria needs right now. I want to appeal, my people. If you are watching this broadcast, do us a little favor. Share. In my broadcast, I've never emphasized share like this. But I really like this to go out as far as can possibly be. I don't want this broadcast to stay with us in the south. I want it to go to the northern hinterland. It is not a question of this one is from this place, now from this place, from the array of people we have seen. The other day, Governor Wike declared to run for president. I hear that the vice president, if he has not declared, is very close to doing so. That will Yemi Osinbajo, and a few other people here and there, and all of that. I'll tell you the truth. In all of these people, the man I strongly believe that Nigerians should cluster around now and push for is Peter Gregory Obi. Let us take a chance with this man. The man is young. The man is a professional. The man is compliant with the time. He knows exactly the state this world is right now. Take your time if you are listening to me. Browse your phone. Just put Peter Obi. Listen to Peter Obi speak in some of the places he has granted interview. You will be inspired. You will be inspired. My people, it's a defining moment. I know that I cannot wait. Time and again, we are going to be doing things like this. I feel very sad today. As a matter of fact, out of my sadness, watching the dismal performance of Nigerian Super Eagles this evening. That's why I'm coming out today. To say, while many of us are going to throw stones at the Super Eagles players or the coaching crew and all of that, listen, my brothers and my sisters, the problem is not about the team. The problem is the foundation. A foundation that was not built, that any environment was not created for by the people in government. Otherwise, if we have that formidable foundation, that formidable culture, these boys you see playing this match today, none of them will make this team. I don't see any one of them who could make this team. None. But in the absence of none, what do you pick? You have to pick somebody, and you must not pick from the mediocres available. So no blame to these guys. The blame is to all of us. All of us, including myself speaking, and yourself watching me and listening to me right now. All of us, because we elected not just this government, even the government before this government and the government before that government. We have always had a way of electing wrong people who would push us a bit down, a bit. But this one has pushed us down to the abyss, almost of no return. If we must return, we must place confidence in Obi to steer this Nigerian ship out of the direction of iceberg. To steer the Nigerian ship to a safe position in the sea so that we start fighting for stability. And hopefully, the future will just be one that will again instill pride in all of us as Nigerians. Fellow Nigerians, it's been a comrade show. My name is Comrade Lanti Oriaki, and I'm just trying to draw a connection between the difference of Peter Obi's presidency and what we have right now, on what we may unfortunately have if we do not change the narrative by being proactive and by being active, by starting now. Please share the broadcast. We'll speak to you again. Bye for now.
Comrade Show, Comrade Lanti Oriaki. Peace. The coming soon.